There's new information in a threatening text message that was sent to a potential witness in a John Paul Miller case a few weeks ago. But first, take a look at this check. As many of you know, this check was written and sent to an informant allegedly hired by John Paul Miller to dig up dirt on anyone speaking out against him and Solid Rock Church. In an alleged text message exchange between John Paul Miller and the informant, he's looking to dig up information on people like myself who is covering the story. Now, John Paul Miller will claim he was simply seeking for information so he can prepare for a defamation lawsuit. John Paul Miller believes he's being defamed in the media and on social media by people like myself. And John Paul may have a legitimate argument in the information he was seeking through the informant, if it wasn't for the next text message that I'm about to show you. I've blurred out parts of this message because the details are the darkest secrets of this woman's life. And remember, this woman is a potential witness. But as you can tell, JP was allegedly looking for information in regards to her sex life. That's right, John Paul Miller is allegedly using church funds to learn more about the sex lives of women. Now back to the threatening text messages sent a few weeks ago to a potential witness for the FBI. The text was sent from a burner phone or a made-up number. But here's what's key. The details in that message are the same details John Paul Miller sent to the informant. That woman's past, her darkest secrets, are only known by a few people in the world. And one of those people was John Paul Miller. The same details in two separate messages from two different phone numbers. And then this past week at Solid Rock Church, John Paul Miller accidentally reveals something interesting. Remember, John Paul Miller literally turned sprinklers on the protesters.
He's spraying us with the hose! Look at this! No people, no church! No people, no church! No people, no church! He just sprayed them all in the face with the hose.
We'll be out here till you're in handcuffs, buddy. We'll be out here till you're in handcuffs. We'll be out here till you're in handcuffs. That's the bottom line.
Justice for Michael!
It feels good! Blood is on your hands!
On your hands.
Micah's blood is on your hands! Micah's blood is on your hands! Micah's blood is on your hands! Micah's blood is on your hands!
Micah's blood is on your hands.
Micah's blood is on your hands! Micah's blood is on your hands! Micah's blood is on your hands!
But after doing so, he walked away, and people noticed something when he walked away. Take a look. John Paul Miller reaches in his back right pocket, and it looks like he pulls out a phone. And then he puts that phone back and reaches in his back left pocket, and it looks like he pulls out another phone. Two phones being carried by John Paul Miller. Two messages with the same details of a woman's past from two different phones. Police on multiple levels are investigating the messages, and the FBI now has the information. And they're also investigating Tricia Ross's involvement. Remember, Tricia Ross is the right-hand person for John Paul Miller. If it involves Solid Rock Church and John Paul Miller, Tricia Ross knows about it. She's the one who wrote the check. The question is, did she know that church funds were being used to dig up the sexual lives of women? If so, this could spell big trouble for Tricia Ross. And now, my message to members of Solid Rock Church. To those who continue to attend this church, I want you to understand what I'm telling you in this video. John Paul Miller is taking your tithes and your offerings to dig up sexual lives of women. And what I have shown you in that text message is not even the worst of it. John Paul Miller is using your funds to weaponize people's past against them, to weaponize people's darkest secrets, to embarrass them publicly. So I say this to you. From this moment on, from everything that comes out from this moment on is no longer on John Paul Miller. It is on you, the members of Solid Rock Church. John Paul is who he is. He hasn't hidden that. There's plenty of evidence showing exactly the person he is. He ran over a woman twice. That's not debatable. The problem is the church built a monster who felt like he was unstoppable, and they continue to fund that monster. And so from this day forward, from this video forward, any new information that comes out, and trust me, there's a lot, I no longer blame John Paul Miller. I blame the members of Solid Rock Church. I blame Charles Randall. I blame Trisha Ross. I blame Nick Ganest. I blame you.
Jesus took it all for you. So you don't have to stay in a abusive relationship, whether that's sexual, whether that's somebody forcing you to take illegal drugs, or alcohol abuse, or physical abuse, psychological abuse, making you think that this is all your fault, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad wife, or you're a bad husband, or you're not giving it your all when you know you are. God hates divorce, but why? According to everybody I've asked and the scriptures that I've found, it's because it hurts people. But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that? So, I want to remind you, like a bunch of people have been reminding me lately, that I'm God's bride first. And even an earthly spouse, who's a good spouse, when they know that their bride is being hurt, just imagine what an earthly spouse does. What do you think your heavenly spouse does? When you're the bride of Christ and he sees his bride going through abuse and hurt, what do you think he thinks about that?
You have funded evil. And if you sit in that pew this Sunday, you continue to fund evil. And all of you should go to jail for it.